Yo, what is up, everybody? It's B Milton. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins Review. And tomorrow, the Redskins go to battle the Beltway, that is, with the Ravens. You guys know I live here in Baltimore. I'm going to go to the game tomorrow. So first things first, if you see me there, hit me up. Hopefully a lot of you guys are going to show up there. We need to show the Ravens that Redskins do come out in force, especially when it's not that far away. I've gone to the last year I went to the Redskins-Ravens preseason game. There's a lot of Redskins fans there as well. So hopefully we do the same thing. And the Ravens, they have a loud crowd, man. So what we need to do, the first call of action I'm going to ask you guys to do, if you do go to the game tomorrow, I've only been to maybe 10, Redskins games. But I guarantee you, most of the times that I've gone to games, we've won those games. And one of the things that I always take away from the game is when I leave there and I do not have a voice anymore and my hands hurt from clapping so damn much, and whenever the Ravens or the opposite team is on the field, their offense is on the field, I'd make as much noise as I can, man. It works, dude. It works. I'm telling you, I've been to games. I've seen it work. When the crowd goes crazy, when the other team's offense is out there. So please, raise your voices. Let Joe Flacco, let that offense know that we're going to be there, and we're going to be just as damn loud as the Ravens fans, who they want to beat us so badly. So raise your voice, man. Do whatever you need to do to make some damn noise when Joe Flacco's out there on that field. So second thing, there's a lot of people who have the Redskins losing this game. And, I'm not... I was watching Louis T's show the other day. It's a great show. And Louis T, who knows a lot more about X's and O's of football than me, he actually chose the Ravens to win this game. Now, he said, obviously, if the Redskins won, he would not be surprised at all. He thinks this is a winnable game. But if he had to, put his money down or whatever, he's picking the Ravens to win. Now, there's been a lot of people who say that, and I'll even admit, sitting here, that on paper the Ravens have they're like one of the better defenses in the NFL right now, but I like to sit back sometimes and use the eye test. All right, don't be so worried, you guys. I think this is going to be a great game, and I think the Redskins have a lot of potential to win this game, even with the injuries and things that we have. Man, we need a lot of people to show up, but this is a winnable game. Use the eye test. Sometimes it's a good test to use. Last week, the Ravens played in Baltimore, and they played the Raiders. Now, the Raiders, I would have to say, are a team that is somewhat comparable to the Redskins right now. The Raiders, they have a really bad defense. Really bad defense. I think in rush defense or whatever, they're like 31st in the league, and then versus the pass, they're like 30th. They're like the worst defense in the NFL right now. Sometimes when you watch them play, it doesn't seem that way, but when you do all the stats, they're one of the worst defenses in the league right now. And they pulled out a W versus the Ravens last week. Derek Carr, he's got a lot of work to do, but I think Derek Carr is one of the better up-and-coming quarterbacks in this league. Do I think he's on Kirk Cousins' level? I don't think so. Will he be one day? We'll see. But he threw 4 touchdown passes versus the Ravens. The Ravens did stop the run on the Raiders, but the Raiders also have been lacking in the run. And so, you guys, comparing our team right now, who everybody here knows, we all know we have really bad defensive struggles. But the bright spot of our team is the offense and Kirk Cousins passing the ball. Correct. That reminds me a lot of the Raiders, who just got it done versus the Ravens. So I think we can do it. We should do it. But we need to be smart. And not to, bring this up too much, but also in Louis T's video, he said that he does not want to blitz Joe Flacco because, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you give him too much time and you get guys wide open over the middle, it sounds like a disaster. It sounds like he was going to pick us apart and throw the ball to Steve Smith over the middle, and Steve Smith's going to go, we can't tackle. Last week we can't tackle, so who knows how far they're going to run over the middle. I understand. It's worrisome. It's worrisome to sit here and think that if we blitz Joe Flacco, who knows what bad shit's going to happen to us. But you guys, yet again, we need to be smart coaching. We need smart coaching, just like John Harbaugh is a good coach. Like Louis T said, the difference between playing the Browns and the Ravens is when the Ravens are running the ball well on us, like Isaiah Crowell was last week on us, the Browns kind of got away from the run. John Harbaugh's not dumb, and he's not dumb. He will keep running the ball. He will. But we need to be equally as smart. The Ravens are going to come in, and they know that we're bad versus the run. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to get the running game happening quick. What the Redskins need to do is counter the same thing. We need to look at the Ravens' deficiencies, which last week, if you watched the game, Khalil Mack was just absolutely murdering Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco was running for his life a lot. Their offensive line is struggling right now, and that's one reason why the Ravens have had a bad running game this whole year so far. Last week, they did have a 100-yard rusher, so yes, we need to be worried, but just like us, last week, Matt Jones had 100 yards, so both teams are kind of finding a run game, but we need to be smart, just like the Ravens are going to come in here and try to run the ball on our bad defense. Our defense can't stop the run. We need to be smart, and we need to see that Joe Flacco did not have a good game when he was blitzed, or not even blitzed, but pressured. And that's why I'm saying we need to blitz sometimes. We cannot sit back and not get pressure on Joe Flacco. We need the pressure. And if our linemen and Preston Smith and these guys, they don't get that pressure, we need to send the pressure. We need to blitz. We need to rattle Joe Flacco. I saw this stat. Now, you guys, I know this is bad. Don't do what I'm doing right now, but I saw a stat. It's like Joe Flacco is the second worst quarterback in the league active right now. He's the second worst under pressure. When there's pressure in his face, he is the second worst quarterback in the NFL. We need to pressure him. We need to. And, of course, the Redskins, we don't have Khalil Mack. We don't have a pass rusher on his level. We don't. But why can't Preston Smith have a big game, dude? Why can't he? I think he can. Why can't we have some other guys step in, dude? That's our team. Guys stepping in. Another guy that I want to see really bad come in and just have an amazing game is we need to see some DeShazer Everett. We need DeShazer Everett in this game. He needs to show up, and he needs to play well. There's a lot of other guys that, I'm not worried about our offensive line. I think we have a better offensive line than the Ravens. I think if we run the ball early and we sustain drives, and we've learned from our last few games where if we have a run game and Matt Jones is going and we commit to the run and we don't give up, we've been winning. We've been looking good. We've been keeping the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands and making him not throw the ball as much, which could lead to bad things. But the Ravens' pass defense is not that great. But still, you always want to be worrisome. And to sit here and come in and be the same old Sean McVay who's going to try to get shit started up first with throwing the ball and then running second, we need to do equal, man. We need to have some of both going on. We need to not only run the ball and throw the ball in unison, but we need that to keep the Ravens defense, which is the bright spot of their team. We need to keep their defense off of the field. This is smart coaching. We need to keep the Ravens defense off of the field and make Joe Flacco and their offense, who has been struggling. Yes, they're 3-1, but I am not high. I've been saying this the whole time. I am not that high on the Ravens. They are just not the same team that they used to be. They're not. Joe Flacco's not even the same guy. Could they beat us tomorrow? Yes, they could. If we make a bunch of mistakes, have too many penalties, we have a lot of injuries, guys coming in and out. Sua Cravens isn't going to play. That's a big hit. Yes, we could lose this game, but this is definitely a winnable game. And until the clock strikes 0 on that board, I'm not counting this Redskins team out, man. I think our offensive power is better than theirs. I think our defense gets more turnovers than theirs. Now, yes, the Ravens defense is like the first in like points or yards allowed or whatever. Like, but the thing is also, yet again, going back to the whole eye test thing. Who have the Ravens played yet? Who have they played? They played the Browns. They played the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had 4 wins last year. They played the Bills, who we beat. Not only in preseason or whatever, I think we beat them in preseason, but we beat them last year and made them not even go to the playoffs. So sitting here and counting out the Redskins is not a smart thing to do, man. I'm not saying anyone has done that, but a lot of people on TV have been doing that, man. A lot of analysts and, just because people are worried of that Ravens defense. And, like I said, the whole eye test thing, man, they haven't really played anybody that I'm that high on except for the Raiders. And the Raiders, they are an up-and-coming team. They're not the best, but they are definitely, improved from who they used to be. And their defense, like I said, the stats for them aren't that great. But if you watch them, they do make some plays. And that reminds me a lot of the Redskins defense right now. They bend and bend and bend terribly. But somehow we get those turnovers. We get those momentum swings. Right when you're sitting here thinking about counting the Redskins defense out, they make a play. They do something. We need that to happen versus the Ravens. We need to get some turnovers. We need the defense. If they're going to keep bending and bending and bending, we need them turnovers. We're going to need something to happen. And then also we're going to need Matt Jones to run the ball well. We need our offensive line to keep pressure off of Kirk Cousins so we can throw the ball. Hopefully, all you guys out there who keep saying, Kirk Cousins does nothing but dinks and dunks the ball, that would be a great plan to do versus Ravens team, because the Ravens team, they're good up front on the line, but they're not that good in pass coverage. So if we can just keep dinking and dunking the ball and then wear out their defensive line is so tired of trying to get off the ball and get to Kirk Cousins, but they can't because the ball's already out of his hands so quick, it's going to wear him down. And after we wear him down that way, pound the ball. Give the ball to Matt Jones. Don't give up on the run. Run the clock down. Unless we're down by 2 scores, do not give up on the run, man. Run the goddamn ball. Run the clock down, especially if we are in the lead. But we need people to step up. We need Duke Ihanacho, who missed a lot of tackles last week, but I think he can play better. We all know he can play better. We watched him. I don't know who else is going to start. If Dante Whitner starts, it's going to be hard, man. We do need to be careful of the Ravens' deep ball. Joe Flacco is good at throwing the ball up and getting pass interference calls a lot. Really wish Rashad Breeland could come back this week, but we don't want to rush anybody back. Let me know what you guys think, man. Hit me up if you're there. If you see me there, say hello. The Ravens Stadium really isn't all that big. One thing that pisses me off, dude, living here in Baltimore, there's a bunch of Baltimore fans that always talk to me, and if they go to the Redskins stadium or whatever, the Ravens fans always sit here and try to bitch and moan, the Redskins stadium sucks or whatever. But the Redskins stadium is like one of the most seating stadiums in the NFL. If you want to go see a Redskins game, you can go and you can pay a good price to go see the game and for good seats. I kind of waited kind of long to get my seats to go to this Ravens game, and I didn't buy these seats, but like most of the seats, decent seats, you have to pay like $250 for a decent seat at the Ravens Stadium. Waiting. I did wait a little too long, but I didn't pay that. I got way cheaper tickets than that. But still, it's like Ravens fans always try to shit on the Redskins Stadium, but it's like, dude, you're gonna go pay $250 for one game, dude? Like, I could go to 2 Redskins games for that price and get box seats, or I don't understand it. Ravens fans always try to talk shit on our stadium, but yet you're paying $250 one game for a decent seat. It's stupid, man. You're going to 1 or 2 games a year when you could spend that money on the Redskins stadium and go 4 games a year. easily with the same money. So let me know what you guys think, man. I went to the Redskins-Ravens preseason game last year where we blew them out of the water. It looked like the Ravens gave up that year. It looked they didn't have a run game. It just looked like they struggled, and then they gave up. The score of that game was like 48 to like 17 or something. We just demolished them. Colt McCoy was killing them. Hopefully that's how this game goes. I'm worried about special teams. The Ravens have a good special teams, but so that we've had pretty decent special teams this year. Not great, but not extremely bad like we're used to. So I think we're kind of evenly matched there. The Ravens have a better defensive line, but they can't stop the pass. We can't stop the run. We do a little bit better versus the pass, but not on third down. But I think offensively, we are more high-powered offensively. If our offense stays on the field and wears down the Ravens' defense, and then the Ravens' offense isn't as good as ours, and they cannot score the amount of points to come back, and if their plan is to run the ball and keep running the ball on us because our run defense sucks, they're going to run the clock out themselves, because if we stop them passing and they just keep running, then hey, they're going to run the time down, and if we're in the lead, that's game over, man. So let me know what you guys think. Just a short video for today. I'll be making a video tomorrow at the game and after the game. Hail to the Redskins as always. Let's go out there and beat them, man. Battle of the Beltways. Let's get it twice in a row. Peace.